At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call on our hardworking Secretary of Labor, Secretary Sylvester Bello III, to introduce our guest honor and speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Thank you. Kindly sit down. Thank you for the courtesy. Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Labor Secretary Sylvester Bello, and other members of the Cabinet, Ms. Marisa Del Mar, the founding chairwoman of the anti-trafficking OFW movement and host, Buhay OFW TV, partner organizations of the anti-trafficking OFW movement, mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, mga kababayan ko. Ay, 3 pages lang man to. So, I'd be through in about 2 minutes and say goodbye. Are you through with your dinner? Uwi na tayo pagkatapos nito. Matagal ako I've been with government for the best years of my life. Started as a prosecutor, then as a vice mayor for 23 years. I'm just telling you, I'm laying the predicate of my talk. And a congressman and being vice mayor and mayor again, it would reach about 40 years. I don't know how long I would be president. The imponderables of life would caution you to mag-isang salita. Do not define life in one sentence. But I have some thoughts and experiences to share with you. Nung presidente ako, nung mayor ako, matagal na panahon, there was a time when I was forced to give the order to shoot to kill pati ang mga illegal recruiters. And this happened because 3 Davaoeñas, dalawa sa Turil and one from Lasang, those are the districts in my city, whose parents came to me early morning crying because they could no longer get in touch with their daughters, and all communications, well, no more, were cut. And they were crying in front of my wife and me. And after breakfast, my wife told me, do not ask which wife. I have 2. So, to be fair, I said, do not ask. I said, my wife said, why don't you do something about it? I said, do something about it. I pity the parents. And I said, yes, I've been declaring war against drugs and against illegal recruiters. You know, if you try to bring the worst in me as a human being, try these crimes and you would really see the worst person in this planet. And I like it, being the worst person, because I just stated succinctly by Marisa, that's really pure oppression. I cannot imagine human beings, for that matter, talking about our countrymen now, being sold to the slave markets elsewhere. And they are tied to the bondage of slavery for all of their lives. no longer connected with their families, totally lost. And they are there as slaves to work for... umiinit yung ulo ko, sandali ha. Kamo tayo ng dumi dito kung meron. Gusto ko kasi magmura. Kasi kababayan mo tapos isipin mo na hanggang kamatayan at gagamitin pa. Not only are the slaves in the truest sense of the word, but also they are sexual slaves. And it bugs your mind just thinking about it. Really, there was a time. I was not joking. Sabi ko talaga, patayin mo yung mga... So I decided to go to Saudi Arabia. And fortunately, we were given time to have an audience with King Fahd. At that time, he was sick, but he was still able to communicate through his aides. And he said yes. Yung tatlo na nakulong doon, alam mo, there are laws to be followed. And I would also caution everybody, since everybody is listening, mukhang live ito all throughout the Philippines. Those things that are not really allowed in other countries, do not do it because you have to follow the rules. For example, drugs. We are duty bound to protect you. But I must tell you that every time somebody Filipino is caught abroad, I refuse to give the statement. I just say, we will help and let Pebot Bello, the Secretary of Labor, sabi ko, you answer. Basta yung drugs, pati yung illegal recruitment. Kasi ipagbili mo yung tao, yung drugs naman sisirain mo yung tao. You know, your sacrifice in life, your work, is connected now also with the problem of drugs. If you'll just listen to me, I'm sure you'll understand. But anyway, balik muna tayo doon sa king. He said yes, but the guider, the minister who accompanied us, told me to see my counterpart. And I said, I am not in the executive department right now. I am with the legislative body. So I was talking to a member of their law and order assemblyman. And I said, you know, in this country sometimes there's not much difference, especially in the rural areas. Not in Riyadh, but in faraway places. Sometimes they lose the distinction between what is a regularly paid helper and a slave. And not all, but sometimes it can happen. Mabutit na lang ito, good that this is just a simple case of passing on some rosaries to other Filipinos. Ibawal yun. So ngayon sabihin ko sa mga kababayan natin, sumunod kayo. Because pag nasabit kayo ng mga ganon, hindi talaga ako makatulong. If at all, it would take time. Yung mga drug cases, even in Indonesia right now, you have not heard me talk about it. Because I hate drugs. True or not, I simply find it almost incongruous to me to be talking about these things because I really do not. I am the unforgiving, especially against drugs and slavery. So I was able to bring them back home. And I announced the community that I was successful in negotiating. We have to, our gratitude to King Fahd at the time. Although he was sick, he gave us the time to be, to hear us out. The only way, the most direct way of helping you is to improve the Philippines. You are out of the country because you want a more gainful employment, not an excessive one, but mas mataas, a higher rate, and perhaps the quality of service. That is the reason why you go out, because there's not enough to earn here at this time when everything is going up. If you stay here, as example, I just came from the police, I just doubled the salary for next year, starting January 1. Kasi itong, you know, you have always been, almost critical about policemen into drugs. But at the rate their salaries that's been being paid now, and they retire at the age of 56, it's about the time that their children are in college. Hindi pa nakakatapos yung, some of them are in high school. But mandatory kasi, it's mandatory at the age of 56, all military men and policemen retire. And you know how things are. And some of them have to engage into different nefarious activities to augment sometimes. If it is only on that objective, on that level, okay lang sana. But itong mga iba, they do it at the expense of their fellow human being. I was the first, and some of you here are from Davao. I started my drug rehab almost 25 years ago. And the slide rate is almost 2 to 8. Most of them really go back to addiction of shabu. Kaya nakita ko na at that early, and that is why I learned this thing that at that time some were very critical to me about extrajudicial killing. No, it's not that, but have you wondered why before I came into office that there was practically nil to nothing? And sometimes the shabu is displayed there by any component of the security forces. Ang karamihan kasi, most of them, if they catch about 10 kilos, they will just surrender about 2. The 8 is recycled. Or the mayors or the police are into it. I'd like to tell you that 40% of the total barangay units in this country are contaminated with drugs. And there are about 9,000 plus law enforcers, policemen, kasali dyan. That is why we suspended the elections. The members of Congress went to me, senators and congressmen, and asked me bluntly, what do you recommend? No, I said, no, I will not. That's your decision. I do not have any power at all to call off an elections except you. I will just tell it all, bear all. the things that I know as president. Sinabi ko sa kanilang gano'n. So they decided, so the government decided to suspend the election. It's about 2 years to go, summer. But if you ask me, would there be enough time for that? Well, because of the criticism and even the homegrown, it's always been insisting that the police are into killings extrajudicially. And sabi ko, then let us give it to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, which under the law would be the lead agency. And some are insisting that there is no drug problem. Fine, I agree with you. So the 2,000 members would be enough for the entire Philippines. You have been downgrading the drugs and problem. Oh, okay. I ordered the military and the police out of the picture. Lahat, only PDEA. Now, the question you will ask is, would this agency, a single one, sufficient to meet the challenges of the drug problem? Would there be enough resources of this agency to deal with the problem effectively? I don't know. I don't know because I myself has a distance. Now someday, if we go back to... Now I'd like to remind you, when I became president, hundreds of thousands of Filipinos surrendered every day. At the end of the year, last year, it was about 1,000,003. 1,300,000 drug addicts. That was during my term. But during the term of President Arroyo and Aquino, General Santiago of the PDEA, who retired, but he is now the chairman of the board, the board of drugs. I reappointed him because of his experience. His count was already 3 million. Yung kay Bato, the PNP now, counted 1-3. So maybe former drug addicts were included in that list. You'd never know, I said. It's always the getting the correct and accurate figures. So on the average, let us just say that some of them already surrendered or well known, others would add it. But I would say it's an incremental increase because of the abundance of the supply. Coming from cooking overseas, not only even China, America, Europe is having a problem. So I'll just put it mildly, about 2 million. 2 million drug addicts. We built one Chinese good soul, built as a 5,000 facility. Diyan sa Fort Lahore, sa Magsaysay. It's an army camp, and I ordered the army camp because we needed spaces. I ordered the armed forces to open their gates and allow the construction of rehab. I said this philanthropist from China, good for 5,000. They're just about now, I don't know, about, it would be a miracle if they would hit the figure of 1. Because they have all, it's not a prison camp. We don't shoot persons escaping from the facility. If they run, then run and find yourself a place under the sun. And so this is really the problem. It's a recurring and it's a very abominable thing, but it is happening in the reality. So, would I be able to solve the problem because of my promise? Remember that I won the elections. I got the highest numbers from the OFW. Maraming salamat sa inyo. I won even in the United States, where they were most critical about my record as mayor. But look at Davao now. I challenge you. Well, you must have had the chance to go there once upon a time. Go to Davao. It's my template. Yun sana ang gusto. That's what I would have wanted Davao to be, the country to be like Davao. But mahirapan ako kasi here comes the EU, members pretending to reflect the sentiments of the EU. America was the first one. But why they are not doing it now, I would not be in a position to reveal it to you. But I just showed them something. You read. There are about almost 40 mayors. 2 of them killed already. Parahinog pati si Albuera. Albuera was the mayor of Albuera. Espinosa was rather the mayor of Albuera, and he was the producer of the show there. And he even killed some of his policemen who did not obey his orders to follow him. Just like Parahinog. I'm sure some of you are from the Western Visayas, Mindanao. Was there truly a country of freedom there? The citizens, while they were in power, while he was alive, could not even talk about what's happening there. You can buy shabu in the sari-sari stores, and nobody was complaining. The economy of Usamis, walang factor. But people were quite comfortable. It was a little bit higher than the other cities. Why? Because everybody was a merchant of drugs. And the supply was unlimited because it was the mayor. And he killed 6 policemen. Until now, we only found 2. And when the investigators, when following day, when they started to dig the farms of the idiot, they found, among others, the 2 bones of still in uniform, itong mga police. That's why I had to decide that he must go. The Albuera mayor also killed 2 of his policemen. There was no decent election there. And as a matter of fact, a mayor of Albuera went to Davao City to another mayor just to ask for my protection because he could not get it from the police and from the other lead agencies. He did not trust the NBI, he did not trust the police. Pag ganitong gawin mo sa, what do you think? And hundreds of thousands of young people were going crazy, and even old ones. Pumunta ka doon sa, you know the first line of Shabu. Gumagano, no? Parang yung dreaming din gumagano ng ngipin. That's why ang mga shabu, mga walang ngipin. Oh, ubos na. Yung corroded. Kinakaang. You see a guy like that. And one of the striking things that I have noticed recently was the father of one of the victims na sinabi na pinatay ng pulis. Pinatay talaga ng pulis. At he was killed by a policeman. Maybe he was really executed. I believe that's tough because there was no other evidence. Meron akong nakita, of you don't saw it. So I was talking to the father. So I know tama yung police. And this will go out during the trial. So I just keep quiet. Just, well, if you cannot, I said, the unlawful killing definitely was not right because it was an execution. But I do not stop policemen from killing criminals who pose a threat to their lives immediately. Go for the head. Why go for the stomach and can still shoot you? He is still capable of squeezing the trigger twice, and you'd end up dead just like him. You know, when I was mayor, and I was building the city from ruins, after the NPAs came the criminals. You know why? Because during martial law, everybody who identified himself as anti-communist was given a firearm by the government itself. When peacetime came, these unauthorized firearms in the hands went to the criminals, and everybody was a criminal because a gun changes the psychological setup of a person. Feels superior, and he thinks that he is already, and there was I was mayor then. I said, I was not joking, and I was not, pulling my own chair. But at 3 months, talagang, dito, the chairman, and even General Galvante, he was there assigned as an RD, no? And we had a very serious crime, and I just made a simple. General Garbante was the regional commander of the police at one time. I'm sure he was there. I just announced. I said, "Look, I am not a policeman. I am not an NBI agent. I'm a mayor. I'm trying to build a city. Do not destroy the city because I will kill you. Do not destroy the young of my land because I will kill you." This is a very repetitive speech. But every time I have an audience, now especially you, because this has a connection directly with you. I'll prove it to you in a few moments. And so I said, if you are there to destroy my city, I will order the police to arrest you, to place you under the custody of the law, and if there is a violent resistance, kill him. But that is the law. That is what is provided for in the revised penal code. When you are confronted with a criminal, and that is why maraming kaso. Kaya maraming, there were plenty of cases, and policemen were shying away from enforcing the law because of the cases. It has been the practice in the Philippines, and you can ask any lawyer for that matter, that the best way of defense is also to file a case against the police. True or not, because that will discourage him, and eventually will just refuse to appear in court. So the case, my case would, Your Honor, I am not ready because I have no witness. Then for the second time said, Fiscal, prosecutor, ready? Not again, Your Honor, because I have no witness. As the summons would show, he cannot be found. Eh, paano yan? And during martial law days, everybody was assigned somewhere in Mindanao. And they had to wait for a convoy that would be going towards the eastern front of Mindanao, hitch a ride to arrive there safely. Ganun yun. So, nagbagkasan yung kaso ko. Because I said, wala kaming we cannot find a ride, and we cannot travel in buses because if the NPAs will stop it and start searching people and asking questions, we're dead ducks. And I can understand if say that he was not there because he was still assigned in Surigao. That's the problem. The forensics, there were just 1, 2 of them for the entire eastern Mindanao. So how can I do my work? Ganon ang nangyari. And so when I became president, I said, if you destroy my country, I'll kill you. And if you pakain mo yung mga anak namin, talagang papatayin kita. There's no secret about it. Find me even a order that is contrary to law. Okay? Find me a wrong there when I say, if you destroy my country, I will kill you. Or when I say, if you destroy the young of my land, I will kill you. And I will kill you. But it's not a carta blanca, said, kill him upon sight. You have to arrest him. But if he surrenders, you place him under the custody. You bring him to the judge issuing the warrant, or to the police station for record purposes, and maybe to answer for charges. But the law says that if you resist violently, the policeman has to take you into custody. Now, if you are holding a gun or a knife, how can this policeman now bring you into custody and bring you to the judge or to the police station? You have to overcome the resistance first before you can bring him. I said, drop your weapon because I'll be forced to shoot you. Kaya ako noon, when I was mayor, maybe it's also broadcast in Davao. But he was a friend, and he committed something. I did not. So I went to his house inside and said, no, you did something there. And the wife was shouting. And I said, either I bring you out dead or I'll bring you out alive. Make your choice. And he was my friend. He was drunk. And if you resist because you have begun, I'll shoot you in front of your family. Make your choice. Because you have to overcome. How are you supposed to bring him into the custody of the law when he will fight again? That's the problem with minors also. Because minors tend to wrestle with the police and try to pull out something. So the police has to use physical force. And pag nabukol yan, the day after, go to the hospital and show their wounds there, just like also drunk people. I do not care if they are the policeman. No. So the police has to drag you. Then the following day, he will file a case against you. That is why, in my time, we had peace. And I hope that my daughter, who is now the mayor, will continue with it. It's peaceful in Davao. You can walk anywhere you want. Nobody would molest you. Because at that time, if you do it, you're dead. And I said, do not destroy my city. I am building a nation. Do not force me to be a policeman. A policeman, I should know the law, and I can deal with you better. And I am not afraid of the case. Because I'm a learned man of law and a prosecutor. I should know. Ang police kasi, pag napailan ng kaso, if there is a case filed against them, that day he loses his salary. There's no more food on the table. The children can no longer go to school. They have no money for the ride and for the baon during recess time. Kaya sabi nila, why? Why during the time of Duterte? Because I told him to enforce the law. God. They were the ones to receive the first bullshit. Either you do it or I will. So they enforce the law. And majority of them, because bangage, shabu shrinks the brain. Rich people, bakit? Kaya, kayo bang mga mahirap? Bakit kaming mahirap ang namatay? Anak ka ng, ang market ng shabu po ay kayo ang mahirap. The market of shabu are the poor people. The rich people, I said, do not care about it. They use puppy. They go to the beach islands there and by the way, cocaine is a bit mild. Shabu is a mixture of chemicals that shrinks the brain of the person over time. That is why rehabilitation is useless. When the brain has shrunk, it stays shrunk. You cannot go to the gasoline station and pump air through the air so that it will. That's the problem. I said, why are only, I said this, the favorite line itong mga foreigners, I am not referring to any one of you here, is always, you know, they are killing people there. And what is really worse is that they only count the victims who are killed, not even sure of whether it is true or not. Because nowadays, when you lie flat on the pavement, on the cement, they would just assume that you are a victim of extrajudicial killing. That is what makes my mouth very bad. I really do it on purpose. Binabastos ko sila. You know why? When you do that, it is always a derogation of the sovereignty of my country. Ini-insulto mo ako, why? I said, you only add, I repeat, you only add the people who are dead and claim to be drug addicts. You forgot the equation that for so many years there were thousands and millions of Filipinos already crazy, of no use to us, to the Philippine society. There's no more hope, and we have to spend more money to cure them to no avail, because it's useless. When the brain is shut down, it stays there. It is shut down. Kaya ako galit. You know, when you look at the social problem, the EU, I think you are the educated race of this planet. You pretend to have the progressive laws and everything. When you look at the problem, look at the social aspect of the problem. How many died? Big. You know, when you're a lawyer, you see a person dead or dying, and you want to have the dying declaration. You do not ask what is your name. You ask first who shot you, who stabbed you. Never mind about what weapon. Makita mo naman butas, bala o saksak. Ganon sana. Extrajudicial killing, how many? 10,000 declared? Okay. So, this is the next question. Why were they killed? Yan ang problema ngayon. They sabihin, lumaban to because they fought it out, so they're dead. You just do not say a reporter to pretend to represent the EU and say, oh, these are the victims, even if they're really criminals. Like, for example, Parahinog. He died during the police raid. Oh, you went to his rest house. You saw on TV. His house was, he used the money of the Republic of the Philippines as a wallpaper. 500. Just like that. You saw it on TV. It was shown on TV. Claims to be poor, but he has a palace. Me? I said, well, they're asking me because I have a hidden wealth. I said, I hide my wealth. God damn it. If I have the wealth, I have the wealth. So, they use it as a paper wall for their house. 500 pesos. It's almost really obscene. It's almost pornographic thing. Yan ang ayaw ko dyan. Now you know. So, let me make now the connection. Ang problema dito, in fairness also to the guy who wrote this, let me just read the last paragraph as Consuelo. I do not write my speeches. I do not deliver speech. I just talk. I do not give speeches, really. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rodrigo Duterte, and by the way, I'm the President of the Republic of the Philippines, and this is what we have in store for you in the coming days. I just want to talk to you. I just want to make a report, or if you may, let's just discuss it. Hindi ako, so, but you know, maybe it's the, not here, so, I'll just read the last paragraph. Again, I thank the private sector, especially the Buhay OFW, for working closely with the government in this endeavor. Human trafficking is a serious problem that transcends borders. Therefore, we all have a responsibility in making sure that this battle is won. Together, we will work to improve the lives of our overseas Filipino workers. Again, congratulations and mabuhay. Having said that, having rendered the justice it deserves, he's my employee. I don't know who but he's from my office. So let me now make the connections. And overseas. It's really the poor, the defenseless, yung walang mapuntahan. Ang market sa drugs. Unahin natin. Then we go to slavery. Drugs. I said the market is the poor community. It only sells 200 per sachet. So, 3 million, 200, what will 6 million in 1 month. Times 3 million na lang. Huwag na yung akin na 1 trip. So, something in 1 year, times 12, 365. That's most. I'm not good at math. Mga 216 billion industry a year. And it's the poor people who's subsidizing it. And they're the ones, sabi, hindi naman lahat, I mean, not all, but I just would like to inform you. Kayo yun. Kayo yung nagbubuhay ng shabu. Yung mga mayaman, yung mga elitista, wala eh. May mga yate yan, may mga eroplano yan, may mga hardly, if we can. But I would be honored to do it to them. And this I said it. Well, anyway, and the poor people. You know, when a family, when one member of the family is into drugs, this family becomes dysfunctional, right? This is a serious problem in the family. When the father goes out to work abroad, a family without a father is dysfunctional. A family without a mother is dysfunctional. When both father and mother go out to work, the family is left to the care of the sister or brother or to the aunts, then my God, remember the Filipino. We have a large number of dysfunctional families. And who are these people who would have the money to pay for the 200 and would have the money always? It's not a big sum. Who are the targets? The sons and daughters of the poor family. Lalo na yung alam nila na may nagtatrabaho sa labas and that is a sure income and every month money is sent from the whatever country by the father or mother to support his schooling and his baon and everything. And that is why they are working to death there, breaking their backs to earn money so that the families here can live and be educated. And you drug people coming into the picture and destroying the family. My God, I will kill you. Why? Because I love the Filipino. Why? Kababayan ko yung kadugo ko. Why? Because I am tasked. And so that the foreigners can, I said, come and observe. So you'll get a feeling of the misery and agony of the people of the Republic of the Philippines. 97% are really poor. It's just about 3% who are holding really the money. Now, we're just receiving salaries. Most of us. We're not really millionaires. Members of the SSSGIS, kaming mga empleyado. We earn so much. We earn this little. We set aside a certain amount of our salary, which is at source taken already, GSIS, SSS contribution. How much is the retirement pay? In government, me, maybe little less, but all in all, when I retire, 40,000. Judges, much higher, almost 70. The salary of the mayor is just, when I assume, obviously about 47,000. That is why I was hesitant to be sworn into office. You give me 47,000, I have 2 families to support. So where do I get the money to? Mabutit na lang ngayon. Well, you know, in life, you can never say that you stay happily married with this. You want to. But, you know, sometimes it's destiny. I don't know. You ask the next guy with me, he suffers with that problem also. So ngayon, ilan lang ating sildo? We retire at what age? 60, 65. Most of the policemen, on the average, get about 32,000. And if you get to live for another 15 years, you think that 42,000 lump sum yan can support your problems of subsistence, health. At 50, Filipinos get diabetes. Sabi ko mo, rice eaters. It's the highest Asia because of the rice. It's carbo. Hypertension. Kidney problems. At 60, it gets to be worse. The bills of the medications keep piling up. So when it is already exhausted, to whom do I call for help? My children. But because you have destroyed them, even if it's only one family in the world, because if you have already castrated the family, maybe if you live for another 20 years, you won't even be able to pay your coffin or your burial. That is why I am angry. Kaya ako galit. And people from Davao would tell you, Bebot is here. The LFTRB chairman is there, Eileen. General Ganvante is not there. He was just assigned there, a soldier. Look around you. You ride a chopper. I used to do that when I was, during the campaign, and until now. You see these subdivisions, magaganda, meters apart. Then the fence there is there. See, going up north, see the humanity. Kita mo yung mga bahay na all squatters, all poor, all susceptible or really easy target for drug. And the drug people, they have this children's schooling in Australia and the United States. You have houses there, big mansions. They enjoy life. And we suffer. So what do I do with you? You're a mayor. You let me and I said, by the way, Duterte talks, it would appear, according to the human rights analysts, You know Duterte, the way he talks, it is as if he was really the one who gave the order. Tarantado ka pala, sino mo pala? Must be an awfully stupid guy. Worse. I said, go out and destroy. Drug is an organized crime. You have to start with the tentacles, then the organs and the body itself, because it is an organized crime. Mahirap ka, you are born. Well, I'm sorry. When I took my oath of office, I said, I will enforce the law equally against all. It doesn't say against all, but never mind, with the exception of the poor. Does not say anything about that. Me? At this point, why? Because you are rich? Well, you are wrong. Because you are poor? Still wrong. I'm just a lover. Period. Itong slaves ngayon, ang problema. That is why we have to be vigilant. Not only sa airports, but we're quite successful sa Davao. I don't know how can we can improve the mechanisms. But, this is a democracy. The right to travel is a constitutional right. Hindi mo mapigil yan. You can get sued for that. But again, dito, in my time, ito sa immigration, at least yung mga OFW, wala ng kuskus ngayon. And I'm sure that when you came in, no more inspection of the bags and, getting things there that I've disallowed that already. I mean, you're all comfortable. Noon sa immigration, matagal ang proseso kaya marami pang kinukutso-kutso ka just to left and right. I think in my time, there is none. Kasi pag may mag-report po tayo, nasisipain talaga kita. That's why I fired a high government official today. I will not mention his name because I do not want to shame the family. Kasi mga anak niyan, baka doktor na, kaya ng iba. But guna na talaga ang paa ko. So sabi ko, maganda yung sapatos mo. Mine, you can take a look at it. Really, I'm going to Marikina. Totoo. Wala, hindi ko na nga. Hubarin ko yan ngayon. Yung kay... Ba't mo tinatago? Nag-atras ka agad yung para hindi makita yun. By the design, I think that is... Hindi, ano ito? Pagawa ng pabango. Hindi, mahina yan. May binigay sa akin. Ako, marami ako, totoo. Hindi ako namumula. Tanggalin ko. It's Rolando Santos, actually. El name is... Rolando Santos from Marikina. He gave it to me. Okay man. Pangsipa ito sa mga gago na pagagawin. Nabi ko na tama na yung korupsyon. Bakit ako? I said, baski kayo. Ang OFW talagang malakas ang hatak sa akin. Yung iba, bakit nanalo ako? Ganito lang yan. You have to improve the economy. To do justice to the sweat of people outside, rich or poor, that their families here are protected. Wala man lang silang ibang hinihingi. They're not asking for anything else from the government. As a matter of fact, they are the ones remitting money to the government. Oh. GDP natin, is, a good part of it is really the earnings outside. Wala nilang hiningi. Yan lang. That everything is for one day when they return, which is happening now. Kasi ang labor naghanap na. May nagsabi pa ng isang sana magbalik na yung OFW because most of the artisans are out. Yung mga walang naiwan, yung tamad siguro. Hindi marunong ng plumbing and electricity because all of the experts went abroad to seek the greener pasture. Ngayon, there's a boom even in the world looking for workers. Workers skilled. Kung ibigay mo yung traktor mo sa hindi marunong, binangga yung building mo. Bumagsak na ang bulsa mo, bumagsak lahat. They have to keep the economy at least viable. Protect their children, their families, because their mothers and fathers and pamangkin nandito, and they're hoping that they would be magandang buhay. Then, their children especially. Pawis nila yan, tapos they put to in naught because of... Mahirap yan. Hindi lang kasi naintindihan itong mga human rights. Lalo nang, I do not mind the locals because it's purely politics. Hindi talaga makatanggap ng talo. So they started with... hindi makatanggap ng AKJ, AK, inuuna yung extra killing eh. Kaya ka na extrajudicial. They started with that down. They started my bank accounts. I gave them the waiver many years. Before the elections, binigay ko na eh. Ayan o. It's still there. It's extant. There is no expiry date. God damn it, use it. And for you who have friends, ilan bang bangko dito? RCB, CDB? Then ask them, it's a computer thing, so tingnan mo daw kung magkano ang pera ni Duterte. And I told the military, although it was not really a challenge, but it was more of asking support, no. Asking ko lang sabihin ko, pati kayo magduda, if you find, you open everything, and if it is more than 40 million, I will step down. That 40 million, the first deposit there of million was when my father died and our hereditary properties were given to us. Hindi naman kami mahirap, pero we could not agree among ourselves, so we sold everything. Then divided the money. Hindi naman ako mahirap. Sabi ko, hindi rin ako mayaman na ngayon. Tama-tama lang. But more than that, I go realize that you cannot bring pagkapatay ka na. I like the quotation of this Lebanese author, si Omar Khayyam, something. Khalil Gibran. What is it to die except climb to the mountain top? And when you are there, you stand naked against the wind and melt onto the sun. High school pa yan, kaya ang author nakalimutan ko. It's Khalil Gibran. So, itong slavery, ang kulang dito is more of, I'd like to say something. Not because you are here, Your Excellency, the ambassador of China. China has been accepting Filipinos, like Korea. And they are really, they are really Asians. They treat us kindly, and they are so exceedingly forgiving sa mga walang and they make it. If you want to extend, do not wait for the expiry. Go to us, and we will give it. And Korea. Those are the two countries na, and Korea because of one thing, that during the Korean War, we sent a delegation there. Pilkag, remember? And one of the soldiers that we sent there was Ramos, President Ramos. And that is very sentimental to them. So yung Filipinos there are not really, nobody's asking a Filipino there if you have a visa. Well, I suppose you cannot enter the country without visa, but what I mean is that they are not really that strict and that hindi masyado stressful. And China is, I said, it's very okay lang sa kanila kung they go there and work. So, those are the countries na kita ko na it's ambassador. Thank you. And mind you, they also gave us the arms that we needed very, very badly. 2 shipments of and the Marawi thing was a battle of sharp, because they were already positioned there inside the buildings. That's why until now, I think it's Mosul. Look at the Middle East. How many years has it been since they fired the first shot? Because building for building. Sa Marawi, ganun. If it was war on an open field, tapos yan isang linggo. But they had to. And with we were short of, we had but short. But when the sniper complete, meron ng, all that they do was just to zero, and it hastened the war. With China played a very significant role. Now they say that the CIA wanted me out of the government. I believe so, but not really. But they would have prepared another one. But one thing is very sure is they do not like me, and I do not like them also. If there is one place that I was invited by Trump to go there, and here comes the 2 senators from the U.S. Congress. They were here saying, "Oh, we will protest if he goes there." And I answered, "Who told you? Who told you I will go there?" About the only time that I went to, their wife would be listening, wag na lang. My daughter is, second wife is an American citizen. I don't know what happened, but I visited her. That was it. I do not, many times have been asked as mayor to go to China, almost every week, just to eat. Go into an eating spree, then come home. Not that for anything, but because of I'd like to address myself to the United States. It's the ugali. It's the way how they handle personal relationships. They're very courteous, almost to the point of magbabaw-baw pa. And mind you, the Arabs. Okay, I've been visiting the places there. Okay sila. I think the only evil think there is still bombing the whole. But mind you, bombing Mogadishu and killing so many people. This is not something which we should rejoice. The Marawi thing. I'm not happy with it really because for all Filipinos. Pero yung mga the foreigners who went there to die, I don't give a itong ano lang, sabi ko, maybe they joined ISIS because ISIS talaga. And bakit ka naman sabi ko, my mother is in Maranao. I'll tell you, how can it be a work of a religion when you kill children, rape the women, the hostages, rape a 15-year-old just beside their mother every night? Is this the work of a man who believes in Islam? Sabi mo na ngayon sa akin. This is the work of how can you figure it out to cut a... Why don't you just bring him somewhere in the dark and shoot him in the head? Why do you have to? That is why our army, their primary weapons is the rifle. They do not have like the policeman. The primary weapon of a policeman is his sidearm. He does not usually go around with an M16. Ang army naman, they go out. But because of so many incidents, I said, I'll buy you all a sidearm. I'm not trying to be funny. With 3 magazines, one on deck, the other 2 reserve. And I said, the last magazine on the far end, going at the back, is for you. The other 2 is for the enemy. I'll buy you a good weapon. Do not give it to the enemy alive, but reserve the gun for the last magazine and do not allow yourself to be captured. The last magazine is really for your head. Or if you want, because with nothing there, you are practically dead. Baralin mo na lang yung bayag mo dyan para with such a useless thing, then you are almost dead. But I said, ganon ka magsalita sa sundalo eh. Tangina ninyo, ito ha, huwag kayong mag-surrender. Do not allow others to treat you as a pig, to treat you as an animal there, only to die in front of the TV and your head being cut. Select your head or your balls. You lose your balls, you are dead also. Like practically almost dead. Because no longer happiness. No more. Well, that's how I would end it, talking about, But itong again, itong slavery, it needs a little bit of a closer cooperation, a stricter, I said, subject to the rights of the Constitution to travel, which you cannot. I hate to say this, but you would know by just profiling. I hate profiling. That's why I did not allow yung nguna sa Marina, sila. I do not want that. But dito for your own protection, sabi mo na, we have to do this. Lalo na yung mga bata, teenager. You would know. Ang importante dyan is for the, total wala naman masyadong ngayon, you can go for the riding in tandem murderers, carnappers, kidnappers. isali na lang sa priority ang recruitment. Doon sa Davao, talagang pag may recruitment, you go to the NBI. I always tell the NBI, and I would like to order now, nandito na lang rin tayo, this would be as good as any other time to task the CIS, that's the criminal CIDG, criminal investigation of the police and the NBI, to make the rounds to make sure that they are not illegally operated. That's an order. I'm sure that listening. And if you want help, go direct to the NBI or the CIDG of the police. And they are the investigative, this is the investigative body of the police force. You can call them. I will ask, who's the policeman here? They're all military men, they're not police. Anong number ng, ito si Minang? Anong number ng CIDJ meron ka? Minang is from Siasi. She's a Moro. She's a daughter of, she's a princess sa lugar nila. She's my aide sa police. Ano na lang, you just call the CIDG to, pati yung NBI to post there sa TV. Sa government, huwag yung madali lang kasi hindi makukuha. Ako hindi ko nakukuha, hindi ko mahabol. Noon, isang tingin ko lang, gano'n lang. Hindi ko yung sabihin, 1 to 297, hindi. Ako noon, gano'n, ang tingnan ko. Tapos basahin ko na, ito ko. Ngayon, sa katingin ng maraming maganda, wala na yung arithmetic. Sabi mo, i-post na lang nila doon sa PTV4, permanent yung doon. NBI, CIDG. So, para makita ng lahat. Lagyan mo lang. Ha? Thank you. Si Moka, halika. Ito may program ito sa OFW. Ikaw, sili turo-turo sarili mo. Ito si Moka. She's also one of the girls dito, local, working hard for the OFW. She's been there. She goes the rounds. I took her in as a Doha Qatar. She's also a worker for the OFW. And Marisa, you can always count on. Nandito sa akin eh. And if everything fails, you call me. So we will give them the ultimate, if nobody can stop them, when we will use the leave it to God to forgive. God, I have to shoot this idiot because he's no, ganyan society. We plead. We beg, we pray, yung mga drugista, pati yung mga illegal recruiters. Huwag naman yung ganon. Kasi do not do it. Do not, you won't like it doing it to your fellow man. Stop it. Because if you don't stop, somebody will stop you. Ganon talaga yan eh. You give us room for, you put that corner as corner ang tao. And we get to be desperate because there is no other solution. Noon, you go there, bail, go there, bail. You go there, you bail almost every day. You use the minors. Ganito yan eh. Bakit may minors? Why? Bakit may matanda pati minors yan? Why? Because ang matanda ang courier. Galing siya yung lieutenant. Tindig lang yan siya. Yung minor niya, I'm not attributing it to any particular case. Yung minor niya, yun mag-utos, bigay mo yun sa tao sa kanto na yun, katindig. Yun ang tatakbo. Pag nahuli ng pulis yan sa kakatakbo, he goes out freely the moment after. You cannot arrest a minor below 15 years old. Pag sinabi niya minor, that moment, that instant, release the minor, or else the police will go to jail. See? Yan ang sinabi ko. Do not put us in a desperate situation. Because the law has allowed itself to be broken. Drugs is a deadly menace. Then you start without thinking, alam mo, kaibigan ko yan, he is honest, siguro everything. But if there is one in the Republic of the Philippine citizens, an official, who did us wrong, terribly wrong, Senator Pangilinan. Because he was the one who crafted the law, copied the Juvenile Offenders Act of New York and the state of Washington. Yan nga ang problema dyan eh. Kaya nagtaka ako kung bakit nanalo pa yan, paek-ek. Galit na ako sa kanya because of the situation. Because he created a generation of criminals. Why? Because when that law took effect, kung yung sa EDSA, kita mo mag-snatch, they snatch and they run, caught on camera. That's only for show. They are arrested. They are not arrested by the barangay captain. They are taken into custody because he's a minor. 15 years old, pag sinabi niya I'm 15, labas yan. So these guys go in and out of prison every day without even a minute of lecture of the responsibility of a citizen and the sense of accountability doing a wrong. Yan ang nangyayari. Kaya marami ang kriminal ngayon, noon magganon pa, the criminals na wala na yan. Just puligan, diretso. Bakit yan? Nasa na eh. In America, true. They're even 17 years old, mataas ang ibang state. But there is a mechanism there. Ang ang dapat ginawa ni Kiko Pangilinan was a law, a colatilia, or a condition, provided that in every town or city, there should be a correctional institution. Not to put them in prison, but to detain them and be lectured on what is right and what is wrong, and what are the responsibilities of a citizen, and what is prohibited. Wala eh. Yan ang sinabi ko. Mag-aral ka na mga Harvard ng 6 weeks dyan, mga seminar. Bumalik ka dito, gumawa ka ng batas. Yan ang totoo. Si Pangilinan yan. Ngayon, bakit hindi nila i-amend? Ibang senator ayaw. Bakit? Itong gagong to, ginawa niya yan. Hindi, lumubog siya dyan. Kasi pag hindi, pakalaban pa natin niya sa eleksyon, tatakbo rin dyan ng baka takbo yun ng presidente, talo pa tayo. Ngayon pa lang, hayaan mo, let it float, let the law remains there. Ganon yan. Sa Pangilinan. Dapat yun noon, pag meron yan, 15 years old, good. But there has to be a correctional facility or a halfway house to do it. But he did not. It's a display of, how would I term it? A display of brilliance gone wild. Yan ang mahirap dyan sa... Siya yan. Ngayon, matagal ko nang gustong birahin yan. Si Pangilinan. Nandyan ba siya? Suntukin na lang kita para tuluyan na. Hindi totoo yan. I'm telling the truth. Walang iba. Pagtanong ka ng abogado. Ay, ito, abogado mo yan dalawa. Tangin nyo. Yan ang nakadiferensya eh. So, in and out, they grow up without any sense of responsibility or the more is accountability. Yan ang nawala. So, that's how it is. Now, if I kept on talking, you might as well order the breakfast. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Daghang salamat for your